Before him lay this nearly empty section of the lot, then a thick cluster of cars in rows, and then the series of low, sandstone-colored buildings, which was the shopping center.
"Can we look at the big chickens?"
the girl asked. He shook his head. "We're not getting out of the car, we're just going to sleep." He locked the doors and rolled up the windows. Under the child's steady, unexpectant gaze, he bent over, felt under the seat, and drew out a length of rope. "Hold your hands out," he said. Almost smiling, she held out her small hands, balled into fists. He pulled them together and wound the rope twice about her wrists, knotted it, and then tied her ankles together. When he saw how much rope was left, he held out the surplus with one arm and roughly pulled the child to him with the other. Then he wound the rope about them both, looping them together, and made the final knot after he had stretched out across the front seat. She was lying on top of him, her hands bunched in the middle of his stomach, and her head on his chest. She breathed easily and regularly, as if she had expected no more than what he had done. The clock on the dashboard said that it was 5:30, and the air was just beginning to turn cooler. He hitched his legs forward and leaned his head back against the headrest. To the noises of traffic, he fell asleep. And awakened, it seemed, immediately, his face filmed with sweat, the faintly acrid, greasy odor of the child's hair in his nostrils. It was dark now. He must actually have slept for hours. They had gone undiscovered. Imagine being found in a shopping center parking lot in Clarksburg, West Virginia, with a little girl tied to your sleeping body. He groaned, shifted himself to one side, and woke the girl. Like him, she came immediately into wakefulness. She bent back her head and regarded him. There was no fear, only intensity in her gaze. He hurriedly untied the knots, dragged the rope from around them. His neck complained when he sat upright. "You want to go to the bathroom?" he asked. She nodded.
"Where?"
"Beside the car."
"Right here? In the parking lot?"
"You heard me." He thought again that she nearly smiled. He looked at the girl's intense, small face, framed in black hair.
"You'll let me?"
"I'm going to be holding onto your hand."
"But you won't look."
For the first time, she showed concern. He shook his head. She moved her hand to the lock on her door, but he shook his head again and took her wrist and held it tightly. "Out on my side," he said, and pulled up his own lock and got out, still clutching the girl's bony wrist. She began to edge sideways toward the door, a girl of 7 or 8 with short black hair, wearing a little dress of some thin pink material. On her otherwise bare feet were faded blue canvas sneakers, fraying at the tops of the heels. Childishly, she put one bare leg down first, and then wiggled around to swing the other out of the car. He pulled her around to the factory fence. The girl bent her head back and looked up.
"You promised you won't watch."
"I won't watch," he said. And for a moment he did not watch, but let his head roll back as she stooped, forcing him to lean sideways. His eyes drifted over the grotesque plastic animals behind the fence. Then he heard some fabric, cotton, moving over skin and looked down. Her left arm was extended so that she was as far from him as she could get. The cheap pink dress was pulled up over her waist. She, too, was looking at the plastic animals. When the girl was finished, he took his eyes from her, knowing that she would glance at him. She stood up and waited for him to tell her what to do next. He pulled her back toward the car.
"What do you do for a living?" she asked.
He laughed out loud with surprise. This cocktail party question. "Nothing."
"Where are we going? Are you taking me someplace?"
He opened the door and stood aside as she climbed back into the car.